Good morning, students. Good morning, all of you. Once again, dear students, today we are going to discussing something about 8th standard social science. 8th standard social science. Under that, we go through the units of history. In that history, in this class, we are going to learning something about chapter 2 called Geographical Features and Prehistoric India. Dear students, today we are going to learning something about chapter 2 of History Division in the Social Science of Standard 8, that Geographical Features and Prehistoric India. Dear students, we cannot able to discuss whole unit in this class. That's why today just we are going to discussing on the physical features of India and the concepts of subcontinent and peninsula, as well as what are the neighboring countries of India. So these are the things that today we will have to discuss. Dear students, before starting that lesson, I am going to ask some questions to you about our mother India. Those who are know the answers, please tell me. Okay? Yes. Come on, any one of you tell me. We are all living, or we are all belongs to which country? Yes. Yes. We are all belongs to India. We are all Indian people. We are all Indians. Okay, nice. If we are all belongs to India, if we are all belongs to India, at least we should know something about our mother India, isn't it? Yes, definitely we should know and we should learn something about our mother India. That's why, dear students, today we learn something about physical features. India means so many aspects including in it, but all those things are not able to discuss it in this class. That's why simply we should learn something about just physical features of India and the concepts of subcontinent as well as peninsula and neighboring countries of India. These are the things just we learn, students. Dear students, we are all very familiar with our country. Our country have so many states, so many languages, so many cultural forms, so many kind of peoples are there. See, these are all the variety differentials included in our India. In the same way, physical features also vary from one state to another state and also one place to another place. Dear students, in our whole India, we cannot observe the same geographical features. It is vary from one state to sorry. All geographical features vary from one all geographical features are varying one place to another places. That's why we should learn something about the different physical features of India. Dear students, the geographical environment has influenced every country and people in the world. Dear students, whole world and environment. See, this is we considered as whole world. I mean globe or a world that mainly depending upon environment. See, dear students, whole world depending upon environment. That environment depending on world. See, these things, these two are considered as the different faces of the same coin. Are you understand, my dear students? The geographical environment influenced very much on our world. That's why there is a interrelationship between environment, geographical environment and world. That's why geographical environment has influenced every country and people in this world. Dear students, there is an intimate relationship between human life and environment. There is a intimate relationship. Both, dear students, both are intimate relationship between human life or geographical environment. See, please listen this one. Dear students, there is an intimate. Here, intimate means very close relationship. It means very bonding between human life and geographical features or geographical environment. Dear students, you may ask me, how sir, how or what kind of intimate relationship between human life and geographical environment? Dear students, there is no doubt there is a perfect relationship between human life and geographical environment, because where there is a good environment, there is a human life. Where there is a bad environment, there is no human lives. Here human lives, not only human beings, but also animals, plants and some other things. All lifeful things are considered as life things. All these things are closely maintain the relationship with the geographical environment. Dear students, very simple. For example, we are all living in Kaduru, isn't it? Some of the people are living in Bengaluru, isn't it? See, both are cities, but Kaduru geographical features are Bangalore geographical features, isn't it? Here customs and traditions are differ when comparing to Bangalore culture and some other customs. That's why, dear students, our whole India geographically differ. Its futures are vary. All these futures are close relationship with human life. Hence, it is necessary to learn about the geographical environment. Hence, that we are all, hence, we are all learned or know something about, learn something about, something about geographical features. Geographical features. Do you understand, my dear students? Yes. And in order to know about human history, see, why I am telling, I told you that the history, human history and geographical features. Geographical features. See, please observe this one, dear students. Human history and geographical features are mainly maintained close relationship because all geographical features can help so much to the establishment of several dynasties in our country. The geographical environment, geographical features are very much help to the started of several dynasties like Vijayanagara dynasty or Chalukya dynasty or Sultans of Delhi, Mughal empires, and so many dynasties are established with the favor of geographical features. Are you understand, dear students? That's why geographical features are much and more influenced on human history, and that's why we should learn something about several features of our physical features of our India, and also our India considered as subcontinent. So that thing we will have to discuss it on the completion of geographical features of India. Before we move to geographical features of India, now we can easily understand with the help of map of our India. So now I will draw the map of India on the blackboard. Please observe the carefully. Okay, dear students. Now I will draw the map of India and identify in that or marked in that geographical areas or features of India. Okay, please observe this one. See, listen this one. four major geographical features. How many geographical features categorized by the experts? Can you tell me? There are four major geographical features can be divided by our geographical experts and scientists. Okay. So, what are those four geographical features? Do you have any idea? Please tell me. You are all studied in your previous classes, I mean 7th class or 6th class. You are all studied something about geographical features of India. You have any idea on that? Yes, very good. We are all very familiar with the geographical features. Once again, here also we learn, that's all. Okay. See, there are four major geographical features in India. How many? There are four geographical features. Now I should write on blackboard. Okay. Please write. Now there are four geographical features. Geographical features of India. See, which are the four geographical features? Number one is the Himalayan mountain in the north. The Himalayan mountain. Himalayan mountain. Mountain in north. See, this is the first geographical features of India. And another one is Indo-Gangetic plain in the north. Indo-Gangetic. Indo-Gangetic. Indo-Gangetic in north. Indo-Gangetic plain in north. See, this is called second geographical features of India. And another one is the Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau. Third one is the Deccan Plateau. This is called third geographical feature of India. And the fourth one is already you are all very familiar with that. That is called coastal region in the south. Coastal region in south. See, dear students, these are four major geographical features we have seen in our country. So now we can mark all these four geographical features on the map of India. Okay. See, the first geographical feature is Himalayan mountains in the north. See, these are all considered as Himalayan mountains. See, dear students, these are all the geographical features or not created by human beings. These geographical features are created by God itself. Are you understand? These features are not created by the human beings. These things are created by our God. Namma Srishtikarta. ಭಾರತದ 4 ಭೌಗೋಳಿಕ ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳನ್ನು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಜನರು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ದೊಡ್ಡಪ್ಪ ಅಜ್ಜ ಅಜ್ಜಿ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ 4 ಭೌಗೋಳಿಕ ಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳನ್ನ ಭಗವಂತ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲನೆಯದು ಉತ್ತರದ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಪರ್ವತ, ಎರಡನೆಯದು ಉತ್ತರದ ಸಿಂಧು ಮತ್ತು ಗಂಗಾ ನದಿ ಬಯಲು ಪ್ರದೇಶ, ಮೂರನೆಯದು ದಖನ್ ಪ್ರಸ್ಥಭೂಮಿ, ನಾಲ್ಕನೆಯದು ಕರಾವಳಿ ಪ್ರದೇಶ, ದಕ್ಷಿಣದ ಕರಾವಳಿ ಪ್ರದೇಶ. See, these are all 4 major geographical features we have seen. Okay, so the Himalayan mountain, please observe here, the Himalayan mountain comes at north side of India and Indo-Gangetic region. Indo-Gangetic. See, this is called Indo-Gangetic region. This is the second geographical feature. And the Deccan Plateau, this is called Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau. And the last one is coastal region. Coastal region. See, this is called 4 geographical features. And our India geographical features comprise the Himalayan mountains, the Indo-Gangetic plains in north, the Deccan Plateau, and the coastal region in the south. The snow-capped mountains in the north include some of the tallest mountain peaks in the world. Our Himalayan mountains include some of the tallest mountain peaks in the world. It is Mount Everest, Godwin Austen, Kanchenjunga, Nanda Deepa. See, these are all the several tallest mountains in the world. Okay, and also through yearly it covered by snow caps, snow capped mountains. These are all snow capped mountains, and some of the tallest mountain peaks in the world are there. They help to preserve the safety and security of India. Dear student, please observe this one. Please note this one. Our Himalayan mountains are not only mountains. These mountains provide to India safety and security. Security to India. Are you understand, my dear students? Our Himalayan mountains can give the birth of tallest peaks of the world, and also these mountains very much helpful to our security purposes and also safety purposes, and also they help to preserve the safety and security of India. There have been very few institutions on ancient India from northern Himalayan region. The attacks have been mainly from the north. Some of the attacks of foreigners have been from the north side only. That's why our Himalayan mountain provides security and safety for us. And also northwestern side through the valleys of Bolan and Khyber passes, especially the northwestern side through the valleys. There are several valleys are there. Among them Bolan and Khyber. Bolan and Khyber. See, these two are passes in the Himalayan mountains. have been entered through these passes to India, and this is called Himalayan mountains. And now Indo-Gangetic region. The flat Indo-Gangetic plains are extremely fertile. Dear students, please observe this, note this, and write down this. That is Indo-Gangetic plain in the north. That is purely fertile land. Fertile land. See, dear students, please observe here. The purely Indo-Gangetic plains are extremely fertile. The ancient civilization of Indus Valley and Vedic period flourished here. Dear students, Indo-Gangetic region plain in the north extremely considered as fertile land. That's why our Indus Valley civilization, Indus Valley and Vedic culture civilizations have been flourished on the land of Indo-Gangetic plain in the north. Dear students, where the land is very fertile, that's why that land very suitable for agricultural activities. That's why that region considered as hot part of India. Dear students, please observe this one. Indo-Gangetic region is considered as hot part of India. What we consider hot part of India. Hot part of India. Why Indo-Gangetic region we call it as hot part of India? In our country, most of the people who lived there, in our country nowadays, around 40% of the population, 40% of the population who stayed on the land of Indo-Gangetic plain. That's why this is called hot part of the India. And also many battles have been fought from time to time to establish control over this area. See, Indo-Gangetic region is the proof of many battles. Many dynasties fought against over the Indo-Gangetic region. They were going to establish their power on that land. That's why many battles happened in the history. And also, usually, the dynasties that established control over this fertile Gangetic plain also established so many empires on the land of Indo-Gangetic plain. Are you understand, my dear students? Yes. And also, the Narmada river that comes central part of India, Narmada rivers. This is called Narmada river. That Narmada river separates India into two parts, Malwa Plateau or Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau. Narmada river separates India into two, that is Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau. Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau. The Narmada river. Narmada river separates India into two, that is Central Plateau and also Malwa or Central Plateau, and south we considered as Deccan Plateau. Here Deccan Plateau means the oldest and hottest land, that is Deccan Plateau, and this comes in the south part of India. The Mauryans and the Guptas ruled these two areas of ancient India. In the Deccan Plateau, the Mauryans and Guptas. Here, Mauryans and Guptas ruled here, and also these two areas of ancient India. The Indian coastline is the another geographical feature. That is Indian coastline is a vast stretches over 6,100 kilometers. Dear students, please observe this. Our Indian coastal stretches more than 6,100 kilometers. See, dear students, observe this one. How big coastal region we have. India vast and stretches over 6,100 kilometers from Gujarat to Kutch to Calcutta. See, this is the region we call it as coastal region. It is distance over 6,100 kilometers. The eastern coastline is called Coromandel coastline. The east part, this side, east. This is called west. Eastern coastline we call it as Coromandel. Coromandel coastline. Eastern part of the coastal area we called as Coromandel coastline. And whereas the western coastline is referred as Konkan and Malabar. Whereas western coastline we considered as Konkan and Coromandel. Konkan and Malabar. Konkan and Malabar. Konkan and Malabar coastline. See, please observe this one, dear students. Our India's coastline extended from Gujarat to West Bengal. These area totally 6,100 kilometers have. And the eastern part of the coastline we call it as Coromandel coastline. Whereas the western part of the coastline we considered as Konkan and Malabar coastline. And also the number of ports and this coastline had attracted the Romans from immemorial. These ports are attracted by the Romans, and these ports are attracted by the western parts of the people, European peoples like Britishers, French, Dutchess, and Portuguese, also Romans. These peoples were very attracted by the ports which are built besides the coastal regions. And also foreign trade was carried on these ports. This is coastal region very much helpful to foreign trade. With the sea routes. See, these are all the several things that days only through the sea routes as result ports flourished, resulting in the rise of powerful kingdoms in the south like Pandyas, Cheras and Cholas. See, this is the coastline. Can gave the birth of several dynasties like Cholas and Cheras and Pandyas. See, this is what we called as coastal region in south and its importance. And now we know something about concept of subcontinent and peninsula. Dear students, here, what is subcontinent? Our subcontinent means occupying a huge area in the southern part of the Asian continent. Occupying huge area of the south part of the Asia. That's why this is called as subcontinent. And what is peninsula? It is surrounded by water on three sides and land on one side. This is called peninsula. It is surrounded by waters in three sides and have only one side of land. This is called peninsula. So India is called as peninsula because it covered three sides of water. See, eastern part where we consider as Bay of Bengal. Bay of Bengal. In south, Indian Ocean. And also western part where we observe that Arabian Sea. See, these three sides covered by three oceans like Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea. Our land only considered one side. That's why this is called as peninsula. So, India shares its boundary with Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar. See, dear students, please observe our India's boundary share with some countries. That countries we call it as neighboring countries of India. Among them, Pakistan and Afghanistan, China, Bhutan, Myanmar, Nepal. See, these are all the countries share their boundaries with our India. Can you tell me, dear students, how many countries shares its boundaries with our India? Number 1 is Pakistan, number 2 Afghanistan, number 3 China, number 4 Nepal, number 6 Bhutan, Bangladesh and Myanmar. These are all the countries share their countries' boundaries with India. That's why these countries are considered as neighboring countries of India. Dear students, can you tell me which are the neighboring countries of India? Yes, any one of you tell me? Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, China, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, etc. Dear students, after the completion of our neighboring countries and the parallel names of our India like subcontinent and peninsula, and now we know something about some political aspects also on our India. For the purpose of administration, our India can be divided into 29 states. How many states? 29 states. And also 8 union territories. 8 union territories. smooth administration can be divided into 29 states and also 8 union territories and also one national capital region and also one national capital region. Dear students, shall I rub this? And also one more map I will draw on blackboard, okay? That shows political aspects of India, okay? Shall I write on the blackboard? Okay, right. See here, I write and show political aspects. Please observe this, dear students. Our India can be divided into 29 states and 9 union territories. Union territories. See, among them, our Karnataka also one. This is called our Karnataka. And here, Andhra Pradesh. And this is we call it as Telangana state. And in south of Karnataka, that is Kerala. Kerala. And one more state beside Karnataka, that is Tamil Nadu. North Maharashtra and Goa, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, it is considered as Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Rajasthan, Gujarat, or several states where we observe that these are totally states in count. There are 29 states and also union territories. And the Delhi, that is we call it as India's national capital. Which is our national capital? Delhi. Delhi is our national capital. National capital. See, dear students, this is we called as, for the purpose of smooth administration and political aspects, our India can be divided into 29 states and 9 union territories. Among them Pondicherry, Diu Daman, Ladakh, and also Dadra Nagar Haveli. These are all considered as union territories. Dear students, today we are all learned something about the physical features of India, the concepts of subcontinent and peninsula, and the neighboring countries of India. See, these are all the major subunits we will learn in this class. I hope that you all understand beautifully. I hope like that. I will hope like that. So that I am going to ask 1 or 2 questions for the purpose of your understanding. Okay? Now I am going to ask the questions to you. Please answer to me. Okay? Are you get ready, dear students? Yes, come on. Tell me. The first question is, my first question is like this. Which are the 4 geographical features of India? Can you tell me anyone of you? Can you tell me anyone of you? Yes, come on, give me the answer. Number one is the Himalayan mountain in the north. Number two is Hinder-Gangetic region in the north. The third one is Deccan Plateau, and fourth one is coastal region. Yes, right answer, dear students. Very good. There are four major geographical features. Number one is Himalayan mountain. Number two is Indus-Gangetic region. Number three is Deccan Plateau, and fourth one is coastal region. Yes, right answer. And my last question is like this. Can you tell me what is the meaning of peninsula? Peninsula means it is surrounded by water on three sides and land on one side. That is called peninsula. Our India is called peninsula because it covers three sides of water, only one side of land. That is, it is considered as peninsula. Okay, dear students, and my last question is to you. Please give me the good answer, okay? How many states have in India? There are 29 states, very good. How many union territories are there? There are 9 union territories are there. Okay, enough, dear students. Enough. I hope that you are all understand my lesson in this class and write down all those things in your books and write and read properly in your houses, okay? And remaining things we will discuss in our next class. Thank you.